We've got with us today Robyn D'Arcy for Le'Ora Botanica, which is simple and honest skincare. It's already award-winning with Glamour magazine, but we'll divulge a bit more about that later. Welcome today. Just want to hand over to you for a bit of an introduction.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Kat. I appreciate it. It's a wonderful privilege for me to be here with you this morning. I'm excited to share some information. I'm from the Eastern Cape. I live in Jeffreys Bay. I'm married. I have 2 teenage children. I've spent the better part of my life teaching ballet and retired at the beginning of last year and made way for me to move into a new career path, which is Le'Ora. I also teach Pilates and yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
It sounds amazing. Okay, perfect. So I want to hear more about your skincare. What led you to become involved in skincare with natural botanics as well? And what drives you to keep going in this domain?
I've always been passionate about natural skincare and what that looks like and how it relates and translates to well-being and what we deem as being healthy and natural. I've always felt a pull towards how do I keep my family healthy? How do I keep my body healthy? And because I'm also in the Pilates space, I'm very aware of what physically we're doing and mentally we're doing. So it all just relates to a general holistic approach to healthy wellness and well state of being. So I've always been in the space of, what are we using in our kitchens? What are we using on our skin? How are we looking after the environment? So it's a broad question. It's not just a one-off question where you're dealing with one aspect of wellness and well-being.
Exactly. It's a state of being.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So in your opinion, what defines wellness? What does health and wellness look like to you specifically?
So I think, when we look at a human that's well-rounded and a person that is, thriving at life and doing well, you can't look at only an external factor of a human. You got to go, how does she look like on the inside and how does she look like on the outside? And if the inside is mirroring the outside, then we have a whole human being. And I think that's also where the disconnect comes in that a lot of people kind of go, well, it's one facet of who I am. You can't only, deal with the skin factor being your big organ and not consider, well, is my microbiome doing okay? Is my are my organs functioning at full capacity? So for me, well-being is inside, outside, and the mirror, and how do they reflect on one another? And they work synergistically together. So if you're in a healthy mental state of well-being, your body's going to reflect it physically, outwardly, and inwardly. So so it's all encompassing.
Absolutely. Okay, great. So how does natural skincare play into well-being? How do the two link together into the overall sense of well-being that you're talking about?
So I think, when we talk about skincare on its own and in its entirety, I think we're looking at a natural approach and as natural approach as we possibly can. If we're putting things onto our skins that are not going to be dealing with the causes and they're not a natural approach, you're looking at something that's external, something that your skin doesn't recognize, and something that your skin's not knowing. So when your skin doesn't know what's coming and not dealing with it, and it doesn't maybe have as similar approach to your skin, you're going to have a response and a feedback, and your body's going to respond to it. So I often feel like natural botanics, the things that are close to nature that we live in, and I'm going to say it because it's the truth. We live in Africa. We've got 21,000 plant species here to deal with, that we live with, that are part of our ecosystem, our climate. Everything that we deal with here is what we need for ourselves. So I feel like reaching outside of that is almost counterproductive, because if we've got it here, use it. So in terms of natural, I think, what we have is here and meant for us. We don't live in cold climates where, only those kinds of things apply in cold climates. People that live in the snow, they obviously have different kinds of requirements for their body and their skin types. So, we live here. We've got beautiful, wonderful natural extracts here. I'm only just scratching the surface of what we have available here. And it's a very exciting space to be in.
I absolutely love that. But it makes so much sense. It really does. Okay, so let's chat about cleansing the face. How do you feel about the double cleansing trend? It's actually been been around for a while now. And what products or natural ingredients would you recommend? Also, are those ingredients age specific?
Okay, so double cleansing was really a K-beauty trend that came in South Korea, the Japanese. They were quite cleanse orientated. And so when that came in, there was kind of this move towards we need to double cleanse, but are people asking the questions? And this is where my education brain comes in and goes, why would you clean your face twice? So the next thing I would ask is, when you're cleaning your skin, are you giving it enough time? There's the thing called a surfactant, which is your cleaning agent inside your product. Are your surfactants doing what they're essentially required to do? And if they're doing what they're essentially required to do, you should only need to cleanse your skin once. And also then that begs the question, if I'm double cleansing, I'm stripping my skin because you've already done it once. So if you're doing it a second time, and I understand that one can put beautiful actives in to replace and replenish oils, but at the same time, I think where the challenge comes in and where people kind of get maybe a little misguided is that you need to actually work the product into your skin to remove the dirt. And that's what surfactants do. They attach to the dirt on your skin and they remove it. And if I've got a gel cleanser that I've formulated, and I actually have 3 surfactants in there. And the one is soapwort, which is a wonderful product that is naturally cleaning your skin. And then there's an oil in it. So once you've cleaned your skin, you've now cleaned it, you've used your bamboo face wash or swab, whatever you use, your skin shouldn't feel stripped. It shouldn't feel tight. It shouldn't feel, oh my gosh, like I've pulled my eyebrows back. So I kind of feel double cleansing. Yeah, I'm on the fence on that one.
I think maybe if you've got a full face of makeup, say you've got like a lot of foundation, maybe I would understand then. But I mean, if you light with makeup or don't wear any at all, there's no real need to sort of do that, go
Sure,
that
and I think
route.
also if you're doing a winter wedding or you've done a shoot or something like that, and there is a ton of makeup on your face, obviously you're gonna need to clean it a bit more thoroughly, and there's gonna obviously be a lot
Yeah.
more. But I think, on a daily I wear makeup every day as well for work, and I only really need to clean it once. And yeah, it seems sufficient, but I understand the need to remove makeup and residue and things like that.
Yes. Okay. Great. So let's chat about trends. Are there any trends in terms of ingredients that you see popping up?
Yeah, so look, I think in terms of standards, if we look at ingredients that I love and that I think are wonderful and that stand the test of time and are staples,
Yes.
vitamin D3 niacinamide is a staple. It's a beautiful formulator. It works well. It's water soluble. It's a foundational staple. So you can put niacinamide and find it in anything and everything. And because it's such a beautiful ingredient, covers a lot of areas, and it's not going to have, in fact, I don't think it has any negative side effects other than if the formulator is using to a higher percentage. That's, I suppose, the only way it would be possibly a negative. And then retinoids. I mean, retinoids are always going to be wonderful because they bring in a pack a punch all by themselves. At the moment, I've sort of looked at, there's salmon DNA that's coming in, but that's again a Korean thing, and it's not really my field. I really want to stay in my wheelhouse of what do we have here in Africa? What is
Yes.
beautiful and raw coming on here? I have stumbled
Local.
across something. Yeah, I have stumbled across something called ectoin. I haven't done too much homework on it, but it's called an extremolite, and it's a plant that grows in kind of very dry climates and extreme drought climates. I would imagine the Karoo would be a place where something like this would grow. And so
Arid.
this ectoin is growing in those kinds of conditions, which would mean that it would be a big hydrator, and they're kind of touting it as like a hyaluronic acid partner. So don't quote me on this. But so I'm doing a bit of homework on that, and I'm always in the market to see what is coming out here and what can we use that people are finding here in our area.
Exactly. Okay, great. So now tell us about your Glamour Beauty Awards win last year. That was so exciting to see.
Yeah, it was very exciting. Bearing in mind I only launched Le'Ora in September of last year, And then I won a gold award for my hydrating moisturizer, which was wonderful. I think Glamour was just great. They put on such a beautiful spread at the 12 Apostles. Tando Mbasu was a wonderful chief. She's the chief director, and she was so supportive and so kind. And it was just a great boost to my confidence, first of all. And second of all, it was wonderful to be in a space with like-minded people. And they were so supportive of people in our industry. They were so supportive of newcomers, people that are exploring new avenues of skincare, healthcare, things in that arena. And it was well put on, and it was yeah, I would do it again. Glamour magazine was just hands down really a wonderful experience for me.
That sounds fantastic. Okay, great. So tell us about how your ingredients are sourced, obviously local. Is there any history to using them as well?
So, I mean, my stuff's all locally sourced, as you've said, and I mean, from a supplier. I think in a perfect world, what I would love to explore going forward is I would love to actually go to farm area and start at grassroots and see what the plant looks like and how do we take that out the ground. What is the process behind how it's getting extracted and put into that fine powder form that I'm using? When I first started with Le'Ora, it was quite an interesting journey because I was exploring many different things and active ingredients in my products, and I somehow kept stumbling across sunflowers, and I saw them everywhere, and every person I met was saying, I don't know why, but I feel like I need to tell you about sunflowers. And then I did some research on sunflowers, and so then we kind of played on sunflowers, and then I researched the sunflower seed oil, which is beautiful, and it's in all of my products so far. It's non-comedogenic, it's light, it's easy, it's fast absorbing, it's a beautiful, soft, gentle oil. And so then we brought it into my brand, and Le'Ora means towards the light, and the sunflower leans its head towards the light. And if you look at my logo itself, there's a little sunflower on the side.
I love that. I actually did notice that. Okay, perfect. And is there any history towards people using sunflowers? I know, like in, some of the products we use even today were from ancient Greece or Egypt or that. Is there anything like that?
So just because it's such a light oil and because it represents such a simplistic, any skin type can really use sunflower seed oil. So that's the beautiful thing behind it. Historically, I mean, it's been around for, as you say, for ages. And I think there's been a bit of negative marketing against how it's procured and how it's been processed, which I do understand. But I mean, we're ethically sourcing where we can, we're finding where we can. And I think the benefits of the sunflower seed oil far outweigh anything. And you're using it again in such small percentages that it's not overwhelming. It's not too much. It's just enough. So yeah, it's a beautiful, and it's so light and it's very easy to work with. Yeah, so that's kind of where the brand will kind of stay as far as I know. Who knows?
Okay, great. So what are your top 3 favorite natural products and what do they do?
So I've only really produced 3 products so far. I'm going to take that into 3 ingredients, if that's kind of where we can lean.
Perfect.
There's something called Centella asiatica, and it's quite a funny story. So when I started formulating and I made my moisturizer, I don't put pigments or colors into anything because I didn't want to add anything that's, outside of what you're going as naturally as possible. And when I made the moisturizer, I was like, oh, that's beautiful, but it's just white, it's just white. And then I discovered a few actives and I put my actives in, and then I actually found the Centella asiatica, and I got so excited because it's brown. And so when I put it into my moisturizer, it went like a cappuccino color, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful, it's pretty, and it's kind of it looks warm, it looks comfy. And so in terms of what it does, they call it the pacifier of skincare, and it's just beautiful that it calms the skin. And there's a beautiful legend around it. They call it, well, it's the legend of the tiger. So the tigers would go and lie in it when they were injured, and then they kind of second named it tiger grass. So it's got some beautiful legends, some stories, some history behind it. Beautiful for rosacea skins, for eczema skins, and it across the board for a sensitive skin. It's fantastic. As I've spoken about before, niacinamide is just my kind of foundational staple. I'll put it into most things because it's just easy to work with. It's regenerative. It's a skin brightener. It can work with all types of skins. It actually is known to fade acne scars, sunspots. So it's a wonderful all round, just,
All
and I've
rounder.
seen it in its, yeah, in its most rudimentary form. It really packs a punch, and I've seen it for my own eyes, and I can see it in everything that I've made. It's just beautiful. And then allantoin, which is a derivative of comfrey. I'm a gardener and I love being in the garden, and I grow comfrey because you need it for your pests and everything else. And it's a
Mm,
big leafy kind of structure. And so I got interested in how does the comfrey translate into allantoin? And they use the root of the comfrey. And also historically, I mean, comfrey is known to knit bones together. So if it can knit bones together in its leaf form, can you imagine what it's doing on the skin? So it's beautiful. It heals acne, and I've kind of targeted my product towards across the board. And I think inflammation is a big factor that we deal with, whether we're aware of it or not.
absolutely.
And I think we want to heal our skin, and we want to calm our skin, and we want to do things that make our skin feel loved and looked after. And I think those are big factors for me. And I think that my products, both my gel cleanser, my moisturizer, and my oil serum, could be used across the board. I mean, my teenagers use it, my husband uses it, and my 81-year-old mother uses it. So across the board, you're throwing a blanket and saying this is healthy and good and beautiful and wholesome enough for all skin types.
Absolutely. I'm sure I've heard about a comfrey tea. Do you
Yes,
get a comfrey tea? Yes. I think that's where I've
yes.
heard, and also I've heard the knitting. It does have amazing properties in it. But I think not
Yeah,
a
it's
lot of people
incredible.
know that.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and also if you take those comfrey leaves, and I do it when I plant anything, and it's just, you got to take from the earth back to where we are. If you take those
Yeah.
leaves, wrap them around your seedlings, put them in the ground, it also feeds your seedlings and helps your seedlings grow. So I mean, if it's doing it for our ground, can you imagine what it's doing for our skin?
I need to get some comfrey immediately. um, okay, so walk us through a typical morning and night skincare regime using your products for summer.
So I would say in the morning when you wake up, depending on whether you have a toddler at home that's kept you awake all night, or a snoring husband, or a mosquito that's annoying you, I would say wake up. And if you desperately felt that you needed a wake up, I would use my gel cleanser because it's also got eucalyptus and lavender. So the scent would kind of wake you up. It would kind of get you sparked and ready to face your day. My oil serum is, again, you could use it in smaller amounts or higher dosages. In the morning, I do dot 1, 2, 3, 4 across the face, and then moisturizer. Because I do Pilates during the day, and because I'm either in my lab or in my studio, I don't put anything else on my skin. If I'm outside, I will put a hat on my head and just apply a bit of common sense to the heat of the day. And then nighttime, because I have in my gel cleanser, I've got a buttermilk, which is an alpha hydroxy acid and an exfoliant. And it's a natural exfoliant. What I normally do in the evening is I put the gel cleanser on, let it sit on your skin, let it literally
Yes,
sit on your skin, and then wash the other bits and bobs of the body and the hair and everything else, and then come back to clean it off. Because then you've given it the time to actually
to
react with your
work.
skin. I think that's what we need. And then there are beautiful actives in there that can also just kind of go into the skin. Once you've done that, jump out the shower, and you can do a heavier dose of oil, a gua sha stone, even just patting your skin using your fingers and just massaging, and then some hydrating moisturizer. And for me, you're good to go.
Lovely. Okay. Let's chat about your pet peeves or something you really hate that you see sort of on social media that you know is absolute rubbish for skin.
I think, Kat, it's kind of a hard one because I think everything is down to us to be responsible for what we're taking in and what we're allowing and what information we're allowing to kind of either
Exactly.
sway us one way or another. So for me, and also because of my education kind of heart, I really would love to just educate people on what they're using on their skin. Because at the end of the day, what works for one isn't necessarily going to work for another. And I feel that people are so gullible, so sucked up in marketing, so sucked up in, this one's wearing that, this one's using that, this one's taking that. For her, it might work. For you, it might not.
Exactly.
And then, I think products get bad names for all of the wrong reasons. And I think people kind of don't use products. I mean, if you're using an alpha hydroxy acid or beta hydroxy acid and you haven't checked the percentage value, it can potentially burn you. And they do often say patch test, and people don't do that. And then I think
No.
companies go through bad reps, people get labeled, and the heart intention of it was never for you to burn your skin. It was actually for you to feel the benefits, but you didn't use it correctly. So I think
Yes.
educating people, teaching them how to understand their products better, use them better, and if it doesn't work for you, move on to something else, but know what your skin actually needs.
Exactly. Okay, great. What is your top wellness ritual that you revisit daily?
I think for me, getting up in the morning early is necessary. I lead quite an active life. So getting up early in the morning and beautiful cup of coffee with an oat milk. I do an Accia oat milk cappuccino. It's my best. I go and sprinkle my roses. I have a rose garden that I love. And then just some quiet time to meditate, reflect, sit in the word a bit, and just prepare my brain for what the day is going to hold.
That sounds lovely. Okay, great. Are there any upcoming events or workshops or collabs in the next few months? And then what are your contact details if someone's watching and they want to get hold of you?
So, because I never really launched my oil serum last year, I'm going to be doing a launch of my oil serum and putting it onto my website because it's currently not on my website and I'm out of stock of what I did produce. I'm going to be doing that. And then in April, fingers crossed, I might be going to Paris for a cosmetic convention, which is quite exciting. And then
Yes.
towards the end of the year, I'm formulating something, whether it's ready or not for the end of the year, I'm not sure, but I'm having loads of fun working on it, and I may or may not launch towards the end of the year. I'm not going to hold myself to it, but if I do, I will be definitely putting it out there for everybody to see.
Amazing. And your contact, so how should someone contact you? What is easiest, your website or your Instagram?
So I'm on Instagram. It's Le'Ora Botanica. It's pretty straightforward to reach me on my Instagram. And then I'm also on Facebook, and my website's www.leorabotanica.co.za. And yeah, like anybody can reach out to me. I'm operating from Jeffreys Bay. I don't have an actual space. My lab is quite small and intimate right now and not in store either. So it's either through website or through me directly that people can reach out to me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for today. We've had such an insightful chat. I absolutely loved this. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kat. I appreciate it.